Hello, everybody. Welcome to Clef Investments. The most important investment strategies that this channel advertise is to buy and hold US broad market index. Many famous people like Warren Buffett or Edward Thorpe, they said buy and hold S&P 500 index is the best way to get good return in the long term. But I didn't dig deeper into why we need to do this. It is very easy to operate, to buy and hold a US broad market index. But if you don't know why, if you don't have a deeper understanding, it is actually very hard to make the decision to buy and hold this index. So this is a big statement because you can separate it into multiple smaller questions. You can ask, why do we need to buy and hold? Why do we need to buy and hold a broad market index, not something else, not individual stocks? Or why do we need to use the stock market of United States? So today, let's look at the third question. Why US stock market? Can we use broad market index from other countries? If not, why? Okay. So in short, the US stock market is the biggest and the best financial market in the whole world, and it attracts the best companies and gets the highest returns. And that's why we want to invest only in US stock market. It is large because US stock market has about 60% of the global market cap. And remember that US started from about 250 years ago, and it grew from 0% to 60% today. So it has a very big growth relative to all other countries. And today it's very large. Besides being large, US stock market is also the most liquid. It has the highest trading volume. That means you can buy and sell stock very easily with very low slippage or the bid-ask spread. And when you buy and sell, you don't lose much money on the friction. And when you want to buy, somebody will sell it to you at a fair price. When you want to sell, somebody will buy from you also at a very fair price. And also, being a country, the United States is relatively more stable than other countries. Its law also has a better protection to the private property. That means companies are relatively safe to do business in US or to be listed on the US stock market. So all these factors mean that good companies want to join US stock market, even if they started as a foreign company. So for example, a foreign company can use ADRs to enter the US stock market, and people can buy and sell their ADRs. And they can be directly listed on US stock market, or they can get dual listing. Basically, they list on both US and their own country's stock market. And because all those advantages of US stock market, it has the best long-term returns, way better than most other countries. So I searched and found data source, one with about 70 years of the data, and the other with more than 120 years of data. So let's look at the summary. So for the first research, this is the picture in that paper. And the x-axis is the number of years of the stock market since it started. And the y-axis is the percentage of the annual return. This annual return is the real return, which is after it's adjusted for inflation. We usually have 3% or more inflation. So after you deduct the inflation, the real return is not very high. So for the US, it's only maybe 4.5%. And you can see that US has the highest return. And many other countries, they have less number of years and lower returns. Sweden is closest to US. And there are many countries, if you buy and hold their stock market index, you get negative return. So it's not recommended to do that. Let's look at another one. So this is summarized by ChatGPT, and it claims the data is from DMS data proxies, and it studied 120 years of data from 1900 to 2022. And US is also ranked number one in all countries, and the return is about 6.5%, and followed by some other countries in Europe. So this is why we want to buy and hold stock market index in United States, not in other countries. And the high performance of United States is an exception, not a norm. And as long as US stock market it continues to be the biggest market that attracts best companies in the world, this trend likely to continue for a long time. Okay, that's all for today. Thank you.